I think that can be explained very well if I explain the historical context of the internet. Internet, World Wide Web came up in, if I don't remember the exact year, but let's start from a timeline perspective. Let's start with the 1990s. That was a point of the internet where, it was the information consumption era. There was one-way communication. So people made web pages. There was one-way communication. You could read text off the web page. You can't really upload things on the web page. So it was one-way communication. Next is something in the early 2000s, after the advent of social media, after the advent of, initial days of cloud computing, after, PHP, all those different technologies came in, JavaScript came in. Those made web pages more, interactable. Two-way communication became possible. You could now upload data, and now you could take off data at the same time. Yeah. However, larger organizations like Facebook or Amazon, they can take your data off the internet, and they're not accountable to you for taking off that data. That's where Web3 comes into the picture, and the timeline goes from 2020 onwards. 3 new technologies come up, and not actually come up, but evolve. First is blockchain. And the blockchain really enables you to, have transparency and trustlessness on whatever data you put on the blockchain. And when the blockchain interacts with the internet, you can have transparency and trust on internet. So if someone is taking your data off the internet, they're accountable to you, given that you have the transparency and visibility into what's happening on the internet. So you essentially own a piece of the internet. Second technology was artificial intelligence and machine learning. So the quantum of data has risen over the years. Going forward, it's bound to rise. So automation would be very critical, and processing of large quantities of data would become very critical, and AI and ML would play a pivotal role there. Third is edge computing, which is a very critical technology to define Web3. Edge computing involves, taking data away from data centers and more closer to customers. So if any process is happening on, let's say, your data, what happened previously is your data would go to a data center, and that's where the entire processing would happen. Right now, a basic level of processing of your data would happen at your server itself. And after that, it would go to, the data center. And that makes processes much more scalable, much more transparent, much more efficient, and much more secure, given that your data is localized to your own system. Combining these give rise to a wide range of use cases in which now you can not only just read and write on the internet, but really own a piece of the internet, own data on the internet. And you would, for everything, every action that you take on the internet, you yourself are accountable for that, and you are rewarded for that. So I think, to sum it up, and I think Chris Dixon puts it very well, Web 1 was read, Web 2 is read plus write, and Web 3 is read plus write plus own. And all of this is in the context of internet.